The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
And hello, everybody. Welcome into a Thursday episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. I am all out of sorts today. Gotta get it straightened out. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold the phone. There we go. All right. Now I can look at you guys. Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown, proud sponsors of Running Point. We thank them for their sponsorships every day. Man, they go the extra mile for you. We try to do the same here every day on this show. We have a good one today. I mean it. I know I say that every day, but we have a good one because tournament action finally underway. We're going to go over the scoreboard, all the winners from last night, and the teams that are moving on to sectional finals in girls basketball. We'll have that. We have a player profile to feature today. It is from Archbishop Hoban, our buddy and colleague Ty Bartell, getting interviews from Hoban. And since they play tonight in Division I sectional final, we're going to have Devin Harris from Hoban girls basketball featured on today's show as they strive towards what I think is maybe a regional championship berth. I mean, that team is so good because they're so balanced, and we'll talk about Hoban more and more, especially if they win tonight and they move on. Division I, remember, is tonight, so we'll talk about that as well as we preview the night's games. There's also several boys regular season games as the boys side of basketball wrapping up their regular season before tournament starts next week. So we'll have plenty to preview as well and plenty on the network tonight to talk about towards the end of the show. But we will start in the scoreboard of last night in tournament time. Let's see what this comment is. I have a comment on the $20 says it's a bot. Let's see. Nope, it's not a bot. Mark Stancorp says, Saturday, let's go. And that's obviously the start of the wrestling sectionals. And me and Gary Altizer and Scotty broke that down yesterday on Wrestling Wednesday, episode 11. You can find episode 11. It's already been posted on our website, by the way. Mr. Stancorp giving us a good reason to plug our YouTube page, which contains the episode 11 featuring Ella Thomas, the 35-0 freshman girls wrestler from Poland. It was a great interview with her. Make sure to go check that out. So we will start today's show with a journey into the scoreboard from last night. These are all tournament games, so obviously the winners move on. The loser season is over. That's always the bittersweet part of tournament time, is we have to say goodbye to teams that we've covered all year and seniors that we've covered for 4 years now. I remember back in 2021 when Ysn was in its fourth year. That was like the hardest year because those were our first athletes that we covered from freshman to senior year. So getting to see these players develop over 4 seasons is always a treat and one of the more favorite parts of the job. So saying goodbye to seniors that we've covered for a long time, always hard, always difficult. It makes tournament time bittersweet. The Ysn scoreboard, it is presented by Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs. This is a great tool for the Ysn fans, whether you are at one of the games that we are broadcasting or you're watching the broadcast. Either way, you don't want to look away from the action for too long, and the YSN scoreboard is a great and easy way to find live updated scores of your favorite teams across the YSN family, whether it be your rivals or your friends. The YSN scoreboard is live updated, so you don't have to wait until late at night for final scores to come in. We have a great team behind the scenes every night that makes sure that these scores are as live updated as possible, and we obviously thank them for their time as well. Let's hop into last night, Wednesday, February 21st. As girls tournament gets kicked off in divisions 2 through 4, we will start with Ursuline. They get the win in their first sectional semifinal game. They storm out to a good start, 48-29. Final score, they're able to beat Kenston. We go to Jefferson. They hosted Crestwood, but it was the Red Devils. They got the better of the Falcons, 49-28. Final score there, Falcons get eliminated by a Crestwood team that I told you yesterday has pedigree, has success in tournament time, and could not be slept on. Girard was able to knock off Youngstown East in a thriller. This one a lot closer than I think Girard wanted to. Remember, Girard's a team that having high hopes this year, having a really good season, finished just one game out of the NE8 championship, and they lost that deciding game that would have given them a tie in the top of the conference on a buzzer beater to Poland. So a very good team, a very good season. They almost saw it all come crashing against Youngstown East, but the Indians able to pull it off 34-32, the final score there. Girard moves on. We have Salem. They're able to hold off Struthers 49-38. Wildcats want to congratulate them on a great season. They dealt with a lot of adversity, and they came out the other end of it. They really played well the second half of the season, despite some injuries, despite losing numbers at a rapid pace. They were able to, find a way to come together as a team and play really good basketball down the stretch. But just Salem was trajectory in the same way. Salem was starting to play well, starting to find their identity, and just not the matchup you wanted if you were the Wildcats to go into Salem for the first round of the tournament. Salem gets the win. Congratulations to the Quakers on moving on. We go on to Berkshire, going to Conneaut, getting the win 62-22. Conneaut season comes to an end there. How about Orange getting the close tournament win? Exciting game down in Pepper Pike as they beat Akron Springfield 51-46. Champion was down a lot of this game. They trailed 8-0 to start. They trailed at halftime by 1. They trailed after the third quarter, but a 21-6 fourth quarter saw the Flashes be able to pull away from Mooney. 48-35, they avoid the upset, and the 16th seeded Flashes are now going to go to Columbiana on Saturday. That should be a really fun game. But I think Champion is going to have to shoot a little bit better than they did last night against Mooney. They only shot about 32%, which is not typical Champion basketball. They're usually known for their shooting, and if they shoot well, they're hard to stop. Bella Meyer had 25 points for Champion. Sophia Diorio had 17. So those two were going at it every possession. Seemed like they were going back and forth. But Bella Meyer gets the last laugh. So does Champion. They move on, and they're on the road on Saturday in the sectional final. Heartland Christian was able to take care of Open Door Christian, and they continue the best season that their program has ever had. Remember, more wins this year in the regular season in Heartland by far than any team in that program's history has been able to do. And it continues with a big tournament win for the Lions. East Palestine got a home tournament game. Congratulations to them. And they take care of business over Fairport Harding, 45-11. Man, do they take care of business. Nothing but green for the Bulldogs. They will go on the road for the sectional final. They're going to be at Cornerstone Christian. Little scheduling note. I know most of the games on Saturday are at 1 o'clock, but a reminder that East Palestine going to Cornerstone Christian, for you Bulldog fans out there, that game is going to start at 7 o'clock tip for that game. I think it's one of only 2 tournament games on Saturday that are starting at 7 o'clock. I think East Palestine is going to start at 7, and then West Branch hosting Hubbard will also be a 7 o'clock start time for that sectional final in Division 2. We move on to McDonald and Lowville playing each other for the third time this season. Remember, they split. McDonald won 1, Lowville won 1, and now Lowville wins the season series as they take care of McDonald in 51-34. This is by far the highest margin of victory of the season for either team, obviously. So third time's the charm for Lowville. They were able to really take care of business this time around and not have to sweat it out. The Rockets get a tournament win. They've had quite a few of those under Coach Modelski. No one will forget the year where they went down to Badger and pulled off the huge upset over the Braves in overtime a couple of years ago. Crestview, no shocker here. They are able to roll over Andrews Osborne. The final score here, 92-20. Nothing but clear skies for Crestview in the sectional, and really the sectional final should be the same way. Western Reserve rolls in their first tournament game, 63-37 over Rittman. Springfield looking to start their journey back to a district championship and a regional championship as well. They're the reigning regional champions. It starts with a win over Oberlin, 59-16. Final score there. Southern Local all over Sebring, 71-23. Ashley Schroeds with 27 points for the Indians there. Alyssa Schroeds had 19. Orange AFK takes care of Latonia, 67-10. The final score there as LeBray falls to Norway in an upset for the Vikings as they get beaten the first round by 3, 55-52. Another upset, unfortunately, did not go Ysn's way as Villa Anna St. Joe's comes in and beats United. They won the second half pretty handily, 57-43. United had a really good first quarter, 15-6. They were up after one. They just couldn't keep that sustained, and VASJ moves on to travel to South Range. So with this loss from United, South Range is able to get a home game. One more home game in the Thriller Dome for the Raiders as they'll welcome in VASJ on Saturday at 1 o'clock. Newton Falls, they're able to go and get the win over Wyndham. And remember, I told this was one of the games I broke down yesterday. I'm not always right. Just like any other sports personality, I do my best to guess how things are going to happen. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's sports, right? But I said Newton Falls wants to slow this game down. They want it to be very low scoring. That's how they win. And look at that, 30-24. That's very low scoring. And Newton Falls slows the game down, makes it ugly, and gets the win over the Bombers. An upset for Newton Falls on the road. We go to Wellsville as that's another upset seed-wise, but we talked about how good Canton Central Catholic really is with the schedule they play and how well they're tested. 55-27, they win over Wellsville. And Jackson Milton, man, talk about this story, and you're going to hear a little bit more of it later on because DJ, I think, has Jeff Wilson on the Power Hour. Don't quote me on that, but I believe he's going to be a guest. Jackson Milton wins 64-50 over Ashtabula St. John. Jackson Milton misses last year. They don't have a program. They don't have numbers. They don't have the numbers to put out a team. 1 year hiatus. They come back and they have a really good season. They earn a home tournament game and they take care of business against a very evenly matched Ashtabula St. John team. This was not like a vast seed differential. This was 20 versus 21, right? So they came out really quick, 17-5 in the first quarter. They never looked back. Emma Johns hit 6 threes, finished with 24 points. Amani Yassine, these both are freshmen, by the way. She had a double-double, 17 points, 12 rebounds. Impressive day for her. Just really good to see Jackson Milton have such young talent step up and have success all season. Remember, Yassine had a quadruple double this year, which is astonishing. So Jackson Milton gets their win. They will travel to Badger on Saturday in their sectional final, and they'll try to get the upset there. Canfield, no problems at all with Brookside as they win 66-34. Canfield advances on. West Branch dodges the Comets with a 56-18 victory over Coventry. Howland with probably the most emphatic win of the sectionals, 78-9. They're able to beat Ravenna. We have Beaver Local. They were on the road. They fell to Steubenville 62-14. Lakeview fell to Rootstown 53-19. Trinity was able to beat Brookfield 58-25. Keystone beat Liberty 40-23. These are all YSN teams on the road. And then Valley Christian fell to the 1 seed, Laudonville, 89-11. So that is your tournament roundup. Well, what do you say? I'll take the shared screen off real quick, so you don't have to watch me do this. But let's just take a look at the updated brackets. We don't have to go a whole breakdown like we did yesterday. I'm going to try to contain myself a bit and not talk for 25 minutes. You know, I mean, I get excited about postseason play. But let's just look at the updated brackets. Let's just see where these people are, right? And I'll go to the Northeast District page. And let's bring that back up for you. All right, here we go. Let's look at these brackets, see where we stand. We'll start with Division 2. Here are your sectionals in Division 2 now. As we saw, Edgewood, they have the bye. They will now play Ursuline at Edgewood. That is going to be a 3 versus 22 seed. But Ursuline, remember, just like Kansas Catholic, just like a lot of teams that play schedules that are way above their pay grade, Ursuline may be a little bit underseeded because of that. Edgewood can't sleep on the Irish. Lily Scott and Kennedy Carpenter both score really well for the Irish, and I think Meredith Gray is actually very underrated rebounder and kind of a power forward. I wouldn't call her a straight-up post player, but she's able to do a lot of good things for that Irish team that goes unnoticed. Bottom half of that section, Lutheran East got the win, and so did Aurora, so they'll play each other on Saturday. We have Glenville, who had the bye. They will now play Crestwood, who beat Jefferson. And down at the bottom, we have Gilmore Academy, who got the bye. They will play Alliance. All right, let's go into second Division 2 bracket here, which is Northeast 2. If you're following along, we have the early college who got a bye. They will now play Laurel, the 10 seed, on Saturday. Mogador Field, they are going to be playing Canton South in the sectional final. Lutheran West had a bye. They're playing Chagrin Falls. And then Hubbard will play West Branch. That is going to be 4 versus 47 on Saturday. We go into the next Division 2 bracket to check it out, and it is Lincoln West, who had the bye. They will play Akron St. Vincent St. Mary, who got the easy win 75-5 in round 1. Girard barely advances. They get to host Marlington. That's going to be 25 versus 21. Marlington got the win 63-19 in their first tournament game. Perry got the bye. They will play Salem. Those two know each other well in the tournament time. Remember, a couple of years ago, Perry was able to just barely escape Salem with a half-court buzzer beater at the end of the game. So it might be in some of those seniors' minds as they go down to Perry. Cleveland Central Catholic will had the bye. They're going to be the team that comes to Canfield on Saturday to play in a sectional final for the Cardinals. Let's go to the 4th district. Let's see. Geneva had a bye. They're going to be playing Berkshire. Talmadge got the win. They're going to be playing Howland. So Howland versus Talmadge. That should be a fun one. Woodridge will be playing Bay Village Bay. And then on that bottom half, you have Learning Center against Copley, who are probably the favorites in this district as the 2 seed. And then we go to the last one. Last Division 2 bracket looks like this. You have Niles. They had the bye. They have an opponent now. They will play at Streetsboro. You have Elyria Catholic. They were able to win on last night. They will play Orange. So Orange traveling into Elyria. We have Canal Fulton Northwest. They had the bye. they're going to be playing CVCA. And then Norton had the bye, of course, and they will play Beaumont, who got the win last night. Last but not least, let's take a look at it. No, actually, that was 5. I'm sorry. I almost lost count. Let's go to Division 3. Division 3 looks like this. In Northeast 1, we'll have a sectional final between Lake Ridge Academy and Crestview. Next sectional is Columbia versus Tuslaw. On the bottom, we have Campbell Memorial, who had a bye. They will play Keystone, and Orville is going to go to Rootstown. That is Northeast 1. Next bracket for Northeast 2 in Division 3, you had Grand Valley, who had a bye. They have their opponent. They will play Trinity. We have Garfield, who had a bye. They're going to be playing Apple Creek Waynedale. Columbiana, they're going to be hosting Warren Champion. And then Middle Ridge is going to be hosting Triway. It's actually a very interesting set of sectionals, especially the top and the bottom. I think both those games are going to be pretty dang competitive. We'll go to Northeast 3. And this one looks like this. Warrensville Heights had the bye. They will now play Northwestern. Poland and Pymatuning Valley were already locked in. Cuyahoga Heights had a bye. They're going to be playing Wellington. And then down here at the bottom, Kirtland had a bye. And they're going to be playing Norway. Last Division 3 bracket looks like this. We have Brooklyn. They had the bye. They're going to be playing Doylestown and Chippewa. Already set in stone was Fairless against Southeast. That'll be Saturday. Smithville is now going to be playing Wycliffe, who got the win over Independence. And South Range gets a home game as VASJ beats United. So South Range will be at home against VASJ on the 24th, which is Saturday, of course. And now we'll go in Division 4 and look at their brackets. We had Richmond Heights have a bye. They're going to be playing Middlefield Cardinal. East Canton got the win last night. They're going to be Newton Falls' next opponent, as Newton Falls gets the win over Wyndham. Next sectional final, Lisbon had the bye. They have their opponent as they'll play Canton Central Catholic. And then at the bottom of the district, you have Maplewood, who had the bye. They are going to be playing Western Reserve. Second Division 4 bracket looks like this. You have Badger, who had the bye. They're going to be playing Jackson Milton. That's 2 versus 21. You had Springfield, who got the win. They're going to be playing against Heartland Christian. Cornerstone Christian had the bye. That's where East Palestine will go. And then Akron Our Lady of Elms had the bye. That's who is going to be coming to Warren JFK on Saturday. Last Division 4 bracket looks like this. As don't mind the 0-0 there. I don't know why that's there. Lordstown will play Laudonville. We have Bristol going to be playing Lowville. And that will actually be in Lowville as Lowville gets a second home game in the tournament. 15 versus 17. Kidron Central Christian had a bye. They're going to be playing Mogador. Bottom of the bracket, you see Dalton had a bye, and they will be playing Southern. That'll be in Salineville. So that's your brackets. That's the update on how the brackets look as we head into sectional finals on Saturday. And then when we come back over the weekend, we will have district semifinals set. What we're going to do is we're going to take a break on Running Point after all that. And we are going to come back with a Hoban girls basketball player profile as they prepare for their sectional final tonight at home. So don't go anywhere. Running Point brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
Craftsmanship to us is 60 years of pride and dedication.
Passed down from generation to generation.
The hardwood floors that your kids take their first steps on.
The solid wood doors you quietly close at night.
The things we create day in and day out are the products that end up turning your house into a home.
At Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, uncompromising quality and craftsmanship built our business.
And it will keep us moving forward for generations to come.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means we want to take care of the community that takes care of us too.
And we have to work together always. And that's how you stay in business for 40 years.
You know, I love being a helper because when I help somebody, it makes me feel good.
It means a lot that I can make a difference in others' lives.
So I will do everything I can and just being there for them every step of the way.
I want them to know within the first 5 minutes that they could depend on me. That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun. It all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Sheely's is more than a furniture store. We're a hub for all of your appliance needs. We offer the widest selection at everyday low prices, with over $1 million of in-stock inventory from Whirlpool, KitchenAid, LG, GE, and more. Our knowledgeable, no-pressure sales staff can help you find the perfect appliances for your home. We're there for you beyond your purchase to service what we sell and offer free local delivery with 24-month special financing. Sheely's, the best things in life happen at home.
House troubles can attack anytime. When trouble strikes, call Mighty Mike. Your hometown hero is on his way. HVAC causing havoc? Has your furnace gone mad? Mighty Mike Heating and Cooling will save the day. Commercial or residential, 24/7. For quality service you can depend on, call your hometown hero. Call Mighty Mike.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa.
And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing.
Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships.
We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team.
Your goals, our game plan.
Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Why choose local? Because you live here, work here, learn here, relax here, and celebrate here. 21 WFMJ is our Valley's only locally owned TV station, and our focus is local. Other TV stations don't have that same focus, as their owners are somewhere else. But 21 WFMJ is rooted in the Valley. Local people making decisions that affect your life, right here where you live.
And welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you as always by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They go the extra mile for you, so you don't have to. We thank them for their constant support, and one of the ways we always go the extra mile, of course, is highlighting our wonderful student athletes that we have in the YSN family. We're going to do that today because we have Hoban girls basketball preparing for a sectional final tonight, and Ty Bartell got a couple of their players over the weekend. We're going to feature one of them here today, and I'm sure they're going to win tonight, so we'll have more time to get a few more in the next week or so. So we're going to have today, though, we're going to have Devin Harris from Archbishop Hoban, Ty Bartell, with the interview. It's a great conversation, and I hope you enjoy it.
Ty Bartell with another edition of Player Profile. This time we're backing our friends over on the east part of Akron with the Archbishop Hoban Knights. One of their seniors, Devin Harris, joins me today. Devin, how are we doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad, and you ladies aren't doing too bad. Another season of winning basketball at Archbishop Hoban High School. But before we talk about that this season, too, and kind of like where we are right now, I want to go back to kind of the early years of basketball for Devin Harris. What are some of the earliest memories you have in the sport? When do you remember getting involved in the sport of basketball?
It's been quite a long time. I was about 7, 8 years. So my brother initially played, and I wanted to be like him, my older brother. So that's what got me started playing basketball. And
When you have an older brother in the house too, and you talk about learning basketball, I'm sure there was plenty of bumps, bruises along the way in learning too. Was he the coddling type, or was he the I'm gonna smack it right back down in your face type? Learn to shoot.
yeah, he was ruthless. There was no mercy.
You talk about that too. How did that help shape you as a basketball player? Having that kind of, I have to be tough to be able to score against my brother. How did that translate to you once you finally did start getting into games too and start really finding yourself on the floor?
It helped me because I realized, like, even if my brother was ruthless to me on the court, at the end of the day, we were still family. So what happens on the court stays on the court. So it helped me realize not to take everything personal and just leave it all on the court.
When you started your journey in basketball too, I mean, a lot of girls, a lot of guys too, in the early years, they try different sports. They don't always stay in those sports long term too. But you chose basketball and you stayed in basketball. What was it about the sport of basketball that kind of made you fall in love with it and keep coming back year in and year out and keep coming and giving your all for it?
I think it was just the fact that it gave me a community to be a part of, and I created bonds through the sport that I wouldn't have had otherwise. And then the fact that it kept me active was something to do.
You talk about early years into getting into Hoban too. What was kind of your journey to ending up at Archbishop Hoban High School and becoming a Knight? I know it's a long list. A lot of people want to be there too. What was your journey to becoming a Hoban Knight?
Well, I originally started my 9th grade year at CVCA, and it just wasn't the right fit for me. And Hoban was more ideal for me. So I shadowed there, and then I ended up transferring because I fell in love with the people there and the community and the basketball team. They instantly welcomed me in, and it was just a great journey, and I'm happy I took that step.
Mackenzie Edinburgh, I just got done talking with her, and she speaks with Hoban with high regard. And I don't think there's been a single person I've talked to, whether past or present, from Hoban that have said anything bad about the school, its people, or anything. What is it about this school, about this community that is just so special and welcoming for anyone? It feels like that joins this program, joins these schools too, that they're instantly feel like they're a family.
It's just a community that they have created, in the trying to think of the word, the relationships that they foster there, and being able to just have everybody welcome you with open arms and just not feel judged and be welcome. It's a great experience.
You talk about that community. They come out for some basketball games, man. They come out for any sports. I mean, really, they show up and show out. What's it like though when you go into a girls' basketball game, no matter who the opponent is standing across from you, that you're going to have that castle filled up and the stands are going to be rocking?
It feels amazing knowing we have that support behind us.
You look at that support that you have too. What does that do? How much does that drive you girls when you have those home games? You got one, maybe potentially two more for sure, coming up at home in the sectionals too. What's that home support really do for you? How much does it drive you?
It just makes us feel like we have something to play for. We play for what's on our chest, and we play for each other.
I like your play style a lot too, because you're I'm going to do whatever the team needs me any given night. I mean, and you'll put up numbers in any given category. It doesn't always need to be scoring. It doesn't need to be rebounding. It doesn't need to be assists, but you could do any of that too, as well as play some pretty stellar defense. What's that mentality like to be going into any game saying, I don't need to be the scorer, but if the opportunities are there, I'll take it too. What kind of mentality do you need to have to be that kind of team player?
You have to have the mentality of the strength of the pack is not the wolf, but the wolf is the strength of the pack. I think I said that the right way. But just being able to do whatever you need to do for your team at any given moment and not being selfish. You have to put the team first.
Looking at your specific skill set too, and being able to develop yourself in a multitude of ways, when you got yourself in basketball, did you find yourself talented in these different categories? Did you have to work in it? How much work has gone into you being able to be the complete player that you are today in your senior year?
I will say God has blessed me with a lot of natural given talent, such as my length. But other than that, I did have to work for a lot of things because it's been a journey, So
What was some of the, I guess, most challenging things that you've had to work on over the years? But you've seen improvement now, and it's all worth it. But what were some of the most challenging things you've had to work on?
definitely becoming a post player because I'm not very thick. I am pretty tall and thin, so it was very hard to learn how to get the right positioning in there and learn how to create with not a very wide like body type, if you understand what I'm trying to say. And so that was pretty hard. And then just learning the footwork and how to use my length correctly.
I hear so many times too from so many high level, high school, college level coaches too. Footwork is just everything too. It is the key to success in so many aspects in that sport. You look at yourself too and what you've been able to improve of yourself physically and as a player too. But coming into senior year too, 3 seniors on the team, you're one of the leaders now. You're one of the girls that all the other younger girls are going to look up to. What'd you have to learn about yourself as a leader, and what have you found out about your kind of leadership style going into the senior season?
Well, I feel like I had to learn about myself that you can't make everyone happy if you're a leader. Sometimes you do have to be harsh on people, and you will lose friends being a leader, and that's okay. And my leadership style is more trying to guide people through things instead of like harping on them. But at the same time, you have to be stern so they can learn.
From your freshman year to your senior year, what's the biggest thing you've learned about yourself? What's the biggest thing you've improved upon from that?
I would say speaking up. My freshman year, I was very shy to talk and speak up. But now that I'm a senior and I am one of the leaders, speaking up is very important.
I know so many young girls watch these Hoban teams too. I was talking with Mac. I mean, our streaming numbers prove that. I mean, Hoban has a fan base that watches these games too. But I know so many young athletes too look up and admire the girls that they see at the high school level. What's your advice to maybe a young girl that sees a Devin Harris playing and says, I want to kind of be like Devin Harris when I grow up, or I want to play for the Knights or a big time school like that? What's your advice to those little girls that want to see themselves in your shoes one day?
My advice would be keep going. Don't let any obstacles stop you because it's going to be a hard road and a long journey to get where you want to be. But once you get there, it's a great place.
You talk about a great place you guys are in right now, 16-3. You're gearing up for another postseason run too. I was asking Mac this a little bit earlier. I want to ask you too, being a senior and being on these playoff runs too. I know you girls are accustomed to district championships. That's only a thing that you guys have been doing for some years over there at Hoban. But I always know that Hoban community, you guys strive for more. You strive for greatness. You strive for the top prize every time. For you girls to have that big tournament run, I feel like it's that second season, right? Everyone needs to lock in. How do you lock in for playoff games? Is it a different mentality, or is it business as usual for you?
It's the same thing, business as usual, and we just got to keep going.
When you talk about, though, with win or go home, does that ever sit in the back of your mind subconsciously, or is that something you're not really thinking about during game time?
I don't really think about it during game time, but in preparation, we have to be perfect because it is win or go home, and we're not ready to go home yet.
I know Mac was talking about the keys to this team, and her opinion was the defense too, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree too. We got to see your defense on full display against Wadsworth as a team. Talk to me about the defense, how you girls have been able to adjust. Obviously, there's been some injuries. You don't have everyone you started the season with, too. How have you girls been able to adjust and still maintain that strong defensive front?
Our coaches are very credited in the preparation for learning how to switch our defenses, losing players to injuries, but being able to trust our coaches and trust each other and our rotations and knowing that if one person has to guard head up, we all have to help also off the ball because defense is a team effort.
Pretty great set of coaches too to trust too. I mean, I was saying as well, like Pam Davis knows more about basketball than I think I could ever learn too in girls basketball too. She's an endless well of knowledge. When you talk about having such great coaches like that too, what are some of the biggest things you've learned from your coaches too, and how have they helped you out in your progression as a basketball player?
Coaches, and they're amazing people, and just learning and being able to be listening to them and just get the experience of being coached by them. They've helped me grow as more than just a basketball player, but as a person also.
Take us inside some of those practices too. Obviously I don't want you giving away the book on a Coach Pam Davis practice, right? But what are some, I guess, some Pam Davis quotes too? What's her favorite go-to sayings that she says all the time?
She has quite a few. I'm trying to think. What would be a good one? I don't know. Coach Pam, she's great. She says a lot, but she doesn't say a lot at the same time. So I'm not really sure what a great saying of hers would be.
She's one of those too. When she talks, you listen absolutely too. And I know she's probably got plenty of those Pamisms, I guess you could call them too during practices as well. When you talk about the practices though with the girls too, and I know oftentimes Coach Davis talks about if practice is harder than the game, then the game's going to be easier than we expect, right? When you talk about these tough practices that you girls are able to go through, how well does this condition you for games too? And how tough? Run me through a Hoban Knights practice too. How tough is one of your practices?
Oh, our practices, they're pretty tough. They're not easy. So our practices definitely help us prepare for the game. The amount of everything that we do, when we see it in a game, we realize like we're not tired, or we can finish this play, or we can keep going.
Devin, I also want to give you the opportunity to give a shout out, give some love and support to those who have been there to support you since day one, whether they're in the stands, they're at home watching on YSN this season, or wherever they may be. Who are those that have been there supporting you since day one in this basketball journey?
My whole family. They've never given up on me. Anytime, even though I wanted to not keep playing, they were like, "You got it, you can do it." So my whole family, I'm just so thankful for them to mentally help me keep pushing through everything.
You talk about the family. I mean, it's always those unbreakable bonds. So I see the fam that are always up there. Some in the balcony. There's some on the floor too. They're always there supporting you too. And you got a great family and a great support system around you as well. Devin, before we let you go, I also want to kind of give you that opportunity to kind of just let the Hoban community, let Hoban as a high school, let Hoban know what the school, the program, the coaches, everyone has meant to you too, and kind of give it's not your farewell, no, but kind of give what the Hoban Knights and this community has meant to you personally.
To me, this community has meant everything. Once again, I did come in as a transfer, and I feel like I've been there all 4 years. There's never been any sort of disconnect in that, and I'm extremely thankful for it, and it will be forever be my home.
Forever your home at the castle too. You guys got a couple more games set there too, as the Knights are gearing up for another big time tournament run. One of their seniors, Devin Harris, joins me in another edition of Player Profile this season.
And that was Devin Harris from Archbishop Hoban, and Ty Bartell doing a wonderful job getting that interview for us. Want to thank both of them for their time. Ty doing some work over the weekend, and then of course Devin Harris being able to join him as well. What a great interview that was. We have a couple of more Hoban interviews that are live on our website that you can go check out. I believe Mackenzie Edinburgh is the other one. They're both on our YouTube page as well, so if you missed that interview or you missed a snippet of it, you want to see it in its entirety, make sure to head over to our YouTube page, Ysn Live, for our YouTube, and subscribe while you're over there. We'd love to have more subscriptions. The more we get, the better we can have a good chance at that YouTube algorithm getting our videos out there. And then if you're already subscribed, like some of the videos that you enjoy watching, and also hit that notification bell so you never miss a video that we put up. We put up a ton, whether it be player profiles, coaches corners, post-game interviews, game highlights, full games are up there. A lot of fun stuff that we put up on our YouTube page, so make sure to check it out. It's your next time you're scrolling through YouTube. Well, we have hit the part where we get the preview tonight. Let's start with the tournament games, right? Let's go back into the scoreboard on ysnlive.com. I got to get off of the district page real quick and pull YSN back up. So give me just a second. We have Division 1 sectional finals tonight. Excuse me. So when we come back tomorrow to finish out the week, we will know who's in districts in Division One as far as YSN families go. So we'll start there. Tournament games tonight in girls basketball. All Division One, mind you. Canton McKinley coming to Austintown Fitch. That is a host site for Fitch. Louisville hosting Cheney. That's an all YSN matchup there. Boardman, they are playing host to Rittman. And then last but not least, we have Archbishop Hoban. They will play host to Valley Forge. So those are your Division One tournament games. They're all games which feature the home team being, at least seed-wise, the heavy favorites. You never know in Division One that we've talked about it a lot. Whatever sport you're talking about, Division One is probably more balanced than any other division because all these schedules are very tough. You can't hide anywhere in Division One. So sometimes, a seed 25 to 40 can really sneak up on you and be a quality team that just, fell to really, really good teams in their season. I mean, Camp McKinley, probably one of those teams that has a brutal schedule. I think Cheney has really tested themselves this year. Can't sleep on them. Can't sleep on Alyssa Brown, the freshman phenom for the Cowgirls either. I don't know much about Rittman or Valley Forge's schedule, admittingly, but I know, obviously, we know Cheney has been testing themselves all season, and I know Canton McKinley plays a really hard schedule. So I don't sleep on those teams going to way higher seeds home floors, but if numbers play out, then YSN should have a really good night as all of the hosts are YSN teams. We're guaranteed one team in districts because, of course, Cheney and Louisville is an all YSN matchup. So going to be fun. And we'll go over what games will be on the network and what sponsors are bringing them to you. First, let's get to the boys' regular season games. It's senior night in South Range. They had to postpone senior night. So it's kind of like finally happening, senior night at South Range. They have a ton of seniors to honor, and they're going to do that tonight as they host Salem. Grand Valley on the road tonight. They go to Chalker. Canfield boys making a trip to East Liverpool. Ursuline hosting Howland tonight. We have Ashley Beulah Lakeside boys. They're hosting Berkshire. Crestview has a league game against Liberty, which I believe the MVAC greats here, the only league games of the night because Champion will go to Brookfield as well in MVAC great tier play. So those are the games tonight. We have 7 boys games and 4 girls games. Let's go over what will be on the network and what announcers will have you covered. We'll start with the girls tournament games. We will have 2 on the network, I believe, and they're going to be sponsored by good friends in the community. Boardman and Rittman, that game will be covered. DJ Oakley will be there, and the Boardman Booster Club has been gracious enough to sponsor that game. So if you're a Boardman fan able to watch tonight, make sure to shout out their Booster Club for covering the cost of that one. And Bob, the Burrick family, has been gracious enough to cover the Louisville cost. So that game will be covered thanks to the Burrick family. That one will be on the network as well. We will have Ty Bartell as a reporter at Austintown Fitch, so we'll have story and interviews from that game as well, and we'll definitely still have coverage of the Hoban game with the story on ysnlive.com. When we go to boys games, so these are regular season ones, so no sponsors to shout out as far as specific sponsors for games, but Noah Ricks and Matt Marr are going to be on the call for Howland and Ursuline. They're getting together. Tyler Hart's going to be traveling to Chalker with Grand Valley. Gary Burton going to be at East Liverpool for their matchup with Canfield. We have Chris Colucci calling the South Range Senior Day against Salem. Sam Torres is going to be at Lakeside for their matchup with Berkshire. And then Tony Perazio going to be in Crestview for their matchup with Liberty. We also have Lordstown at Jackson Milton tonight being played. That's on our spreadsheet, but not on the scoreboard. I'm sure that's going to be updated. I think it was a late addition to the schedule. So those are your games tonight. ysnlive.com/live. If you're watching girls tournament games, remember to thank your sponsors for bringing those to you. The sectional coverage of tournament games can only I never brought up the scoreboard, did I? Let's bring it up real quick just so we can get Burnett Poole some love. Burnett Poole sponsored Hot Tubs with the sponsorship of the scoreboard. There you see it. Check it out tonight for live updated scores of these games. But we want to thank you so much for tuning in today. Running Point brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet. Make sure to check out the games. And what I was saying before I got distracted by realizing I never put the scoreboard up. If you're going to be watching a girls tournament game, make sure to do it with a thankful heart for the sponsors that have been able to bring those to you, because the sectional games for girls and boys basketball will not be broadcasted unless they are specifically sponsored. So Boardman and Louisville, those games would not be brought to you without the kind generosity of the people that sponsored those games. We will be covering districts. It will be pay-per-view. We will be there at every district we possibly can be at. So that's going to be fun. Districts will be next week. But first, let's finish up sectional play. Thursday night basketball, both sides, girls tournament, boys regular season. It's a fun night. Check it all out at ysnlive.com/live. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Running Point will be back tomorrow to